Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. MC's Finest coming in week one post draft. Starting to look at matchups. Obviously, this week the NFL opens up two nights from tonight. So, Thursday, finally, NFL open up Bills Rams. Should be an awesome game to start the season with. Over unders like 52, 53. So, tons of points, tons of fantasy relevant names. So, I look forward to it. Kind of got me a little juiced about football. I finished up my last fantasy draft tonight from work. It was horrendous because we drafted with like five girls in a 12-team league, and my team is ridiculously good, but it'll fall apart. But otherwise, I first wanted to start with saying something nice about every team because usually I dog people's drafts. But this year, I want to just say one pick I like from each team. I'll run down that list real quick just to provide some positivity, and then I'll look at all the matchups. I believe Aaron is getting married in Vegas this weekend, from what I hear. So that should be a party. So hopefully you guys are out there for the games, can get hit up a sports book. Um, there's supposed to be one that's like really fucking insane. I don't remember the name of it. It'll come to me, but there's one that they just built. It's fucking insane. So hopefully you guys get to visit it and get some bets placed. So real quick, we'll start from the champs, work our way back from 10 to 1. Nico and Aaron's team, I really loved getting Brandon Cooks for them. Forgot to fucking write the rounds down. But getting Brandon Cooks in the seventh, I feel like, he's perennial top 20 receiver, top 25, just tremendous value for a team that really kind of waited on receiver a little bit. Obviously, they had Higgins and Kupp, so they didn't really need to take receivers, but love that pick for them. For me and Nick's pick, I was back and forth between Brady and Godwin, but I think Godwin is just our favorite pick considering we did wait on receiver. He's got easily top 20 receiver upside. In the eighth round, we were really pumped about that, but obviously the knee is the biggest question mark, so we'll see what happens. Eric's team, my favorite for him was Jalen Hurts. I love that, getting a quarterback that good in the seventh round. Usually when our league, typically we see quarterbacks go in the third, the fourth. Kind of like I thought he was going to be like at least a fifth or a sixth. When he fell to the seventh to Eric, we were going to take him if we had the chance, and he sniped it right in front of us. So that was a good pick there. He has top three scoring upside with his rushing ability, so absolutely love that pick for Eric. And then looking at Brock's team, he's got some rookies late that I really like Algier, Rashad White, who could take over in Tampa Bay with his pass catching ability. So I really like that one. But I think my favorite pick was just getting George Kittle kind of after those first two tight ends went, and Kelsey and Andrews, and then Waller got picked right in front of him. I was like, Kittle's a good spot there, especially in the fourth round. If Kittle's healthy, he could easily be the number one or number two tight end. So getting him as the fourth tight end off the board was really special for him and the way his team was built out. Looking at Gabe, not a lot to like here, Gabe. Eugene put you in kind of a weird spot, but I do like Kenny Walker in the sixth round. Some really good keeper potential there. I think when he gets back from the surgery, Penny's never guaranteed to be healthy, and I really liked Walker in college, so I'm big fan of that pick. Chavez's team, look, I said this after the draft, Chavez's team gives me a hard on. This team is fucking loaded. Like, running back, super loaded. I love all his receivers that were kept with Williams and Pittman. But my favorite pick from him was just getting Devonta Smith, in the 11th round. I think that's a really good value, even with A.J. Brown there. I think he's still going to catch probably 70 balls, even though they don't run a ton, but I really like his profile. He runs, great routes. I think he should be a 1,000-yard receiver. So getting him that late was just, cherry picking for Chavez, but I'm a big fan of Chavez's team. So we'll see how he does. Adam had a tough draft. Obviously, had a lot on his mind, and wasn't able to be there. But he had some really nice picks. I did like the Zamir White pick in the 12th, but I think overall my favorite pick from Chavez or from Adam was his Hollywood Brown pick in the 5th. I think he's going to be a monster the first 6 weeks before Hopkins gets there. You're talking about multiple 100-yard games, multiple touchdowns. I think he's going to eat those first 6 weeks. Dalton, my favorite pick for him was he had a pretty decent draft, very typical Dalton draft, getting Thielen and loading up on some of his guys. Obviously, didn't have a pick until the 4th round, and Lamar was a nice pick in the 4th. But in 10-team 1 QB league, that's probably a little early, not terribly early. But Melvin Gordon, I think in the 8th was awesome. He's still going to split a lot with Javante. He's still going to get touchdowns. It's a high-powered offense. He was a top 20 running back last year. Odds are he's going to be pretty close again. So for that, as like a flex value, I mean, that's a great pick by Dalton and Steph. So real solid. Mike, my favorite pick here was, I mean, Mike, to be honest, there wasn't a ton I really liked from Mike. His team's built more for PPR than it is for standard. Outside of, Derrick Henry, everybody else is a lot of pass catchers, but not a lot of standard type guys. But I did like James Cook, another PPR guy, but I think he has a chance to take the reins as the lead running back in Buffalo. Obviously, high-powered offense, so just love the upside there in the 10th round. Again, a lot of rookies on this list, but there's a lot of values to be had in this class because there wasn't a lot of sexy rookies like there was last year. So I think that's a good one for Mike. And then Spirit Moose with Nick and his boy. I'm sorry, I forget fucking co-owner names. But Nick's team, I loved the Pierce pick, obviously in the 7th, just again, keeper value. But I think my favorite pick was, getting Treylon Burks in the 11th. I think, again, just keeper value. He's going to be the number 1 on that team. I think Woods is still good, but I think Treylon Burks is going to be a special player. Maybe not year 1, but year 2 for sure. And he could blossom late to where it's, really makes sense to keep him. So again, that's kind of where I stand on everybody's nice picks. So jumping in, looking at week 1, just, looking at the scoreboard, lots of close matchups, guys. I think the biggest matchup is just a 5-point swing. There's pretty much 3 5-point swings. Me and Nico, so defending champs and the runner-ups play each other. This game couldn't be closer. Every day it changes of who's the highest. So obviously we're the 2 highest projected teams at 110.25 for us and 110.44 for Nico and Aaron. So it's going to be, between me and Nick, it's just going to be a back-and-forth matchup, hopefully high scoring. So we'll see what happens. But, it's going to come down to the wire. I think we have a Monday nighter. They don't. They have a Thursday nighter. We don't. So they might take the lead early, and then hopefully we can steal it on Monday night with Javante. So we'll just see how that one plays out. But, it should be a slugfest. And then looking at Nick and Mike. Nick is actually projected to lose this one. He's only projected to score 98 to Mike's 105.5. Looking at the spread there, about a 7-point spread. Mike's team, like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of, but, Nick's start, his keepers, I think, really put him in a bad spot. He's going to have to try to make some trades to get some star power on that squad, but we'll see. As you know, Eckler can have a 25-point week, and that instantly changes kind of the luck of the draw. So Nick's had a little uphill battle against Mike. That should be a fun one, at least for the shit talking. Looks like next we got another great matchup for shit talking. We got Brock going up against Dalton. Previous co-owners now facing off against each other. Brock's projected to lose this one 95 to Dalton's 102.5. So fairly close. 7 points is nothing. If I'm taking that 7-point spread, I'm probably taking Brock plus the 7. I haven't really looked at the players in any of the matchups, but you gotta love Lamar Jackson going up against the Jets, Kamara against Atlanta, Sutton against Seattle. There's some pretty sexy matchups on Dalton's side. Looking at Brock's though, I see Dobbins might not even play, which could really hurt him. Maybe he throws Mike Davis in there, but George Kittle against the Bears should eat. He's only projected 7. He's gonna get 10. Renfrow against the Chargers, he should be okay. Metcalf, we'll see. I'm really concerned about the Seattle pass catcher. So, but we'll see. It's all about touchdowns, and we'll see what happens with those two. Looks like Eric going up against Adam. This is one of the 5% projected scores. Eric projected to win 106.7 to Adam's 99.18. So again, real close. 7-point difference, not a ton. And then you got Chavez going up against Gabe. Chavez projected to win coming out of the chute at 100.63 to Gabe's 93.04. So Gabe, lowest projected score of the week. Obviously, draft kind of put him in a rough spot, but Gabe had a really good season last year. He'll bounce back. And again, trades have been pretty light. I think only Dalton and I have had the first pre or post draft trade, so plenty of time. Again, teams are going to see how their team is after week 1, either panic or be happy. And then hopefully we'll start to see some action because obviously that's what makes the league fun is the shit talking and the trades. So that's really kind of it for the week, guys. I'm going to kind of try to do this every week, every other week, just get a recap and a projection looking forward. I'll probably try to look at matchups a little bit better, just to maybe highlight 2 or 3 players that we like heading in, and then obviously we'll track as the season carries on. So that's pretty much it. Nobody has any questions. There's no fucking gimmicky things anymore. I think that's really about it. I don't really need to address anything, so I will talk to you all next week. See you later, and welcome back, football.